Hi there, welcome back to the playlist within my channel, the playlist that I like to call What the F, where we deal with parts of the English language that are confusing as hell, difficult to explain, and just make you crazy. Now, in today's video, we look at the question, what the F are the correct ways of pronouncing the letter H? Now, first of all, the letter itself, do we pronounce it H or H? Personally speaking, I've always pronounced it H, and this tends to be the standardized British version for saying the letter. There are other people who say H. It's quite common, in fact, across the UK. And the Americans, I believe, would also say H. So H does exist. You may hear some people use it. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to say H. But the way we pronounce the name of the letter is not actually the essence of this video. What is the essence is how we pronounce the letter in a word. Because sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's voiced, and in other cases it's silent. So here are a few examples where the letter H at the beginning of the word is actually unvoiced, it's silent. We have hour, honest, honor, and air. Now, the last one you can see from the spelling is not the same as the word air, which is like the air that we breathe, but basically pronunciation, I at least pronounce it the same way. So air, air. But this heir would be like the heir to the throne, okay? Talking about royalty. The next person in line for the throne is the heir to the throne. But all of those words, you notice the letter H is unvoiced, it is silent. So you may be thinking, oh, wait a minute, we could have a rule perhaps. We have words that begin with the letter H and are followed by a vowel. So maybe in those cases we don't need to pronounce the letter H. Nice try. Check these words out. House, hotel, holiday, happy, horror, horrible, hate, hot, happen, and holy. All of those words have the letter H direct at the beginning, directly followed by a vowel. So unfortunately we can't draw a rule there. But what about words that contain a silent H inside the word, not at the beginning of the word, but inside the word itself? Let's have a look at a few. Okay, we have school, Thailand, ghost, exhibit, exhausted, vehicle, psychology, echo, chemistry. Okay, so the letter H here is really unvoiced, it's silent. You wouldn't say chemistry or echo, for example. It's not possible. It says echo, chemistry, school. I'm not sure how you would actually pronounce that if you voiced the H. School, maybe. So no. The H in all of those words is also silent. Okay, now it's possible to combine the letter H with a G as well. So you have a GH, which is a unique sound all in itself. Now if you put it at the end of a word, curiously enough, the GH actually sounds like an F, as in what the F. Now this is something that is very difficult for me to comprehend. I've accepted it because it's part of my language. And we have to think, what is the origin of this? And the origin could be in Old German, maybe even Old English. And it's just evolved over the years where a pronunciation has changed and the spelling has remained the same. Something like this. We just have to look at this as the way that the language has evolved. Okay, but if we have a word like rough, you can see from the spelling there is no F, but it sounds like an F with the GH at the end. Tough. Tough is another one. Enough. So yeah, it can be confusing. But as I said, it's evolution. It's the way the language has evolved. Now we could also talk about the question words. Okay, the question words like what, where, when, why, who. Now they all have a letter H directly after the W. Now there are some people who do actually manage to make kind of an H sound directly after the W in these question words. I don't do it. For me it sounds a bit strange. I can't do it basically, so I would say what, where. It's very difficult for me to say what or where or when. But there are some, for example, Family Guy. If you like Family Guy, listen to Stewie and the way that he speaks. He asks questions. You'll notice that he has that wh sound, which is kind of the W and the H. I can't do it, so my questions, and which is kind of standard British, is to say what, why, when, how. Well, not how. What, why, when, who, for example. So for now, I'm going to say go practice your English. If you have any questions about this subject or any other, leave them in the comments, and I'll be seeing you soon. Take care.